So you joined the police in 1994 September, and so what happened from there? What was the
So
process through that? That's a wild time to start as well. The sphere of some of the stuff that's going in Australia in the 1990s was pretty crazy, right?
yeah, well, at that time it was we were just coming at the back end of the Underbelly, like in Melbourne. There was quite
Mm,
well documented gangland wars going
yep.
on, turf wars, and a lot to do with drugs. And there was elements of corruption within various parts of the police force as well, and serious corruption. So, and they were tied in with with these underbelly uh, suspects, crooks, whichever term you want to put on it. I'll probably use police terms a bit through this, so I do apologise, but alleged crooks or real crooks. And so that was an interesting time for the police force. We weren't as sophisticated now, so it weren't as sophisticated then as the organisation moved through, say, the next couple of decades to have dedicated analysts and have more resources put in place. It was it's the like policing generally and police forces are quite slow beasts to turn. They often move at a glacial pace, and there's a lot of bureaucracy to get through.
Yeah.
And it's and so whether it's how can I put this? It took a long time to catch on and go, this is serious stuff. This is impacting on the reputation of the organisation. How do we get past it? But at the same time, what was interesting uh, was the Underbelly TV series
Yeah.
glorified all that. So it's almost like police are the bad guys. For like, there's this exciting element that people want to that this is my view, that I feel people liked the idea of, because it
Yeah.
wasn't causing harm to your Joe citizen, like in the long run, because of the drugs. Yes, it was, but the immediate harm just wasn't there. It was confined to that particular group. And then on top of that, Channel 9 make a very sexy TV series out of it and glorify everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then even as police, we get seduced into that, because you go, oh my gosh, what an exciting life, and
Yeah.
things will be a bit dull if we arrest all these and we solve all that. What's next? So yeah, so it's sort of
Where in reality, probably you're just like it's probably 90% paperwork. No.
it is, for sure, and I discovered I discovered that when I joined. I think, oh, there's a lot of paperwork in this. It's like 95% paperwork, 5% excitement. And so
Yep.
graduating from, so going through the academy, graduating in January '95, and then being put out on the beat, if I can say that again. Didn't know what I was in for. Like, so the academy was a pretty sterile environment, really. They did their best. Then put out on the put out on the street. So, working in a local division, just dealing with members of the public as best you can. Really, not much in the way of, say, we'll call it, backup. So if you go to an urgent situation, there would probably be maybe one or two units, whereas now you get half the police force able to almost attend to an urgent situation. So it really became, you were on your own. You had a lot of autonomy, which
Yeah.
was scary initially, but you go, well, yeah, they've trained me up for a reason, and I get it. And so it was stepping into adulthood quite quickly, and drawing guns that I never thought, well, what's actually going? Like, this is serious stuff, and it's the thing, you train so well and versed in, your use of force so much that, you draw a gun. No, it only takes a blink of an eye to draw a gun in the right
Yeah.
circumstances,
Yeah.
and then dealing with violent offenders. And I remember when, like, I first when I first came across ice and first started becoming prevalent in the community, my first
Sorry,
encounter,
what's icing?
ice, the drug ice.
Oh,
So
ice, right.
yeah,
Okay, yep.
yeah. So it's like this.
Meth.
Yeah, meth. Yes. So crystal meth. Yes.
No,
Sorry.
I just thought you said ice in. I'm like, what's ice in? But ice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know ice.
So and I remember it distinctly, and we're going hands on. So it's quite a serious fight with this guy in the street. And I
Mm.
think this guy's really, like me and three other police are trying to get him down, arrest him because he'd been actually hitting people along the street, like just punching people as he went along the street. And we're trying to arrest him and get him on the ground. We eventually got him on the ground, and he was like it was like he was just doing this normal push up, and because we were on him trying to get the handcuffs on him, it was like he was doing a push up and just lifting us up. He just had this superhuman strength like I'd never
Wow.
experienced, and eventually we got the upper hand, and got the handcuffs on. But that was my first experience of someone that was on ice and just become so enraged from it, and then went through the court system, and what became clear was that he'd only really just started using it, and it wasn't. Well, I don't think anyone adjusts to it, but he was normally quite a level-headed person, but it's so highly addictive that he was just consuming it, and that's just the sort of thing it does. Just makes someone absolutely super.
Mm.
Does different things, to different people. But this particular guy, absolutely superhuman strength. Never seen anything like it. And then it just started getting, particularly when I moved into a leadership and supervisory role and a vision across a wider area, just started seeing that more and more, and like across across the whole of the Melbourne metropolitan area, and then it started moving into the country areas as well, your regional centres, and then from the regional centres to your rural areas as well. Um, and uh, and thinking about that sort of now and dealing and having dealt with all that, um, like I just sort of it really became a like for me dealing with those type of people just made me a lot more wary of people even when I'd be off duty. And so part of that was, say, even going to a cafe, and I still do it now. I'm up here on holiday, and I'm sitting at a cafe, and I always make sure I can see exit points and things like that. And it's
Wow.
yeah, so it's just sort of something that is ingrained, and you think, no, I want to sit where I can see an exit or be near an exit or something, because there's still that hypervigilance aspect. And I've been out of the police force now for 18 months or so.
Right.
And that's, I think, that's I didn't really notice that I was doing that until someone else said it at work that that's what they do, and I go, well, that's actually what I do as well. So, and then just our general conversations among your mates, you go, yeah, that's sort of where we tend to sit, even off duty, is I don't know, just sit near an exit or just be when you're in the public going, right, is something going to happen that I need to deal with, and all. So yeah, that hypervigilance all the time was like I really sort of started getting like really started weighing on me, but I didn't want to. I don't think I wanted to admit it
Yeah.
because it was I don't know, it wasn't manly. Like, why would I admit that I'm hyper vigilant and this is actually impacting on my mental health? So just battled through. So I'm not sure where we started on that track, but it was it it that I think the street policing particularly made me grow up very quickly,